Schwaninger, and I'm here by Cortland, Nebraska. Have been farming for about 30 years now. Started shortly before I got out of high school. Mostly corn and beans now, and farm about 1,800 acres. I am completely no-till. I have a lot of tile terraces with risers. Some of them are fairly large. I originally started out with the pull type sprayer. We never did use any custom application, and with the amount of acres I need to cover, it just was a long day of rocking back and forth and really rough, and didn't seem like at the end of the day I was getting that many acres covered, and so that's what kind of led me to the Apache originally, and just to be able to cover more acres and just the wider wheelbase and just the smoothness of ride, and that's really made a big difference. Well, I first heard about the Apache Sprayer from a neighbor who had purchased one, and visited with him a little bit, and it wasn't too long after that a sharp salesman by the name of Mark Sutton stopped by, and he was persistent. He stopped on a regular basis, and as I got to know a little bit more about the sprayer, I became more and more interested, and eventually purchased a used Apache 780, and that's kind of how I got started. Once I started with the Apache, the ride was so much smoother, and I was covering so many more acres in a shorter amount of time that I usually came into the house with a little bit better demeanor and a little bit better mood, and didn't feel like I had gotten beat up and not got much done for a day with the pull type. The fuel usage actually dropped considerably, and actually found that I enjoyed spraying quite a bit more than I thought I did. And after running that for a while, I moved up to the AS 850. Went with had the bigger front tires on, kind of smoothed the ride out just a little bit more. Continued to have a lot of the same nice features that I was used to on the 780, and so have since moved to the AS 1010, and it has quite a bit quieter cab, and has several other features that I've come to enjoy, like the 6-speed transmission, and so I think it's been a real positive move. Well, one of the things that was attractive to me about the Apache is just the simplicity of the way it was built, the mechanical drive, the fuel efficiency. Most of the time I'm getting 8 to 10 acres per gallon on fuel. The cost of it was a factor. It allowed me to go to a newer machine and yet keep my cost per acre down versus going to some of the hydraulic machines that are out there. And I was a little concerned about buying a used hydraulic machine. You just really don't know what you're getting sometimes there. And so I didn't have a lot of reason to switch brands. The AS 1010 has a heavier boom and a stronger boom. I've only run the AS 1010 on about probably 700-800 acres so far, so I don't have a good idea of you know, how the booms will hold up in comparison, but they appear to be made quite a bit stronger than on the AS 850. And well, the Apache's really improved efficiency from a couple standpoints. Again, it runs very economically. 8 to 10 acres I've been getting on a gallon of fuel, which is a lot better than I was doing with my tractor. I'm covering a lot more ground in a lot less time, and really allows me to, you know, when we have the rainy weather, the stormy weather, and all of a sudden you get a few days where you can spray, you actually can get out and get the ground covered quickly. Well, again, the AS 1010, I can cover so many more acres in a day. I can drive quite a bit faster. It allows me to go over rougher terrain at a faster speed, especially over some of my tile parallel terraces. The AS 1010's been nice for travel. Most of my farms are located within about a 6-mile radius of home, so I don't use a tender truck of any sort. I just run back home to fill every time, and with a 36-mile-an-hour road speed, it's really made it nice to run back home and do that. You can really get home quick and back out to the field, and that's been a big asset. I've not seen a disadvantage with the two-wheel drive of the Apache. I mean, I've gone through fairly wet fields and it'll just keep on going. I've never been stuck with it, and it'll cut some mighty deep tracks without getting stuck. So I've had good experiences with the two-wheel drive of the Apache. I like the visibility on the 1010. I really don't have any complaints. I can see out the back really well and out the front, and I've been running an Invisio Pro in there, which is not terribly big, and everything's hooked into it, so I don't have a lot of windows blocked with monitors and things, so really the visibility is quite good. I'm really happy with the height of the machine right now. Some of the machines sit almost, I think, too high. I don't like being way over the top of the crop. I don't spray a lot of, I don't go into tasseled corn or anything like that, so I really kind of like the height, being a little bit closer to the ground where you can see better and, see small weeds, see the things that you're out there spraying. The AccuBoom has worked really well for me. It's just kind of relaxing to know that you can come into point rows or end rows and know that it's going to control your boom sections. It's worked quite well for me, and I've had no issues with it. I do have a lot of point rows, a lot of times when my sprayer booms shut off by section. It's hard to calculate what the savings is, but it certainly would be significant, I think. Cost per acre is going to be less. I think there's opportunity to move into a slightly newer machine than maybe if you're looking at a competitive brand. The auto steer has been nice and kind of allows me to get away from using a foam marker, and lots of times post-spraying beans, that foam falls down through the crop canopy and you could never find it or see it, and so the auto steer has been really nice for that. Yeah, no, as you look at it from a maintenance standpoint, it doesn't look intimidating. Most of the stuff is right out in the open or can be easily gotten to, and most things are pretty straightforward on it. On my AS850, I did have a steering pump problem and some boom problems, and really those were the only issues that I ever had with that sprayer. Some of the issues that we did have, we called Direct to Equipment Technologies, and I thought they were quite helpful and were willing to send parts or pieces that we needed overnight, and so I was fairly happy with that. I haven't really had any mechanical issues with the sprayer. I have dealt with the dealership some with tips and a few other things, and they've been very helpful and quick to respond to my questions and what I needed. So the Riggins dealership up in Utah offered a service school, and we attended that and went over a lot of the areas of the sprayer, the service points on the sprayer, talked a little bit about some of the areas to watch on the sprayer. Just got to know the sprayer better in general, I guess. Well, one of the things that I've really liked about the Apache, and the reason I'm probably on my third one, is that the resale value is very good on the old ones. I think a lot of that has to do with the mechanical drive. Guys aren't scared to purchase a used Apache quite as much as maybe a used hydraulic machine. So just knowing that when I purchase an Apache that, if 5 years down the road I want to trade for a newer model again, I know that my value is going to be held up there fairly high. I've sat in a number of other sprayers, and as far as the value of the sprayer goes, I really believe that the Apache has everything in it that I would actually use on a regular basis. When you get into some of these other sprayers, it seems like they have a lot of bells and whistles, a lot of extra things in there that I really don't need or wouldn't use on a consistent basis, and that really, you know, drives up the cost. It really is a value for your dollar. It's a simple machine, but does everything that I want it to do at a lower cost than going to buy a John Deere or a Patriot or one of the other models out there.